Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode, day 14, episode number 14, in the 30 most important albums in hard rock and heavy metal history as I take you through the month of November. 30 albums, 30 days of November, and the albums that I feel were the most important in shaping what we now know as hard rock and metal. So today, if the white Stratocaster over my shoulder here isn't a dead giveaway, we're going to be looking at an album released June 5th. 1970 for the Harvest label, produced by the band, engineered by a guy named Martin Birch. Perhaps you've heard of him. The fourth studio album from this band, first with their new lineup, Deep Purple in Rock. All right. We had the concerto for group and orchestra in between their final studio album with Rod Evans and Nick Simper. So the live concerto album, classical rock. Classical meets rock, the orchestra thing, right? For those of you who, whatever you want to call it. That came in between. Let's get to know each other a little bit. But now here we are in the studio pumping it out. And all of a sudden, Deep Purple in Rock sees Deep Purple as a completely new beast. Richie Blackmore on guitars, Ian Pace on drums, John Lord on keyboards, mostly Hammond organ. And of course the new guys, Roger Glover on bass and Ian Gillan on vocals. This takes the kind of psychedelic rock and pop from those first three Deep Purple albums, right? Because those, I wouldn't call any of those, really heavy at all. And then all of a sudden, this comes out, and this is completely in your face, blistering, go for the throat, heavy rock. I mean, it starts off with Speed King. It doesn't get more, let's go for the jugular than that. With Richie Blackmore's, wrangling his guitar with the whammy bar, right? With tremolo arm of his guitar. Speed King, in your face. Ian Gillan screaming up a storm. From there we go to Bloodsucker, right? Another really heavy song. And this album, when you listen to it, I mean, the production is like completely raw and just unlike anything else they've ever done. I mean, they would get a little more refined as far as production and their sound in the studio goes with Fireball and, of course, subsequent albums, right? Machine Head and so on and so forth. But this album is like this just absolute juggernaut of an album. Child in Time is up next. Big and epic, kind of spooky, slow. Screams from Gillan. That'll send shivers up and down your spine. You got an amazing guitar solo from Blackmore. Some chilling organ from John Lord. Flight of the Rat. What a great song. I mean, Flight of the Rat is, again, fast-moving, intense drumming. There's a somewhat of a bluesy slant to this album, but not really. This album is just very, very metallic and just full of energy and full of just, it's almost like it's full of anger. I'm not sure these guys were angry. They were just like, we just want to go out and do something a little different than what we've been doing. It's definitely leagues different than the first three albums, right? Into the Fire is heavy metal stomp right there. Gillan scream to the fire. Dun, 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 dun. Amazing song. And then Live and Wreck, which is kind of got a little funk groove. It's kind of bluesy, man. You got that great Hammond organ from John Lord. And then Hard Lovin' Man, again, just pedal to the metal. Like fast-moving, early heavy rock. I mean, this whole album just absolutely kick-ass. And then, you have recorded at around the same time, which was not on the original album, but if you buy this, the CD reissues now include Black Knight, which was the big single at the time. And Black Knight is an incredible song, right? Just heavy and bluesy and just, absolutely ear candy, right? And then also you have the non-album track Leftover. Again, you can get on the CD reissues of a song called Cry Free, which again is so heavy. So heavy. I mean, this album just is so heavy for the time, for 1970. It's amazing when you think about, this album and Black Sabbath's debut and then Paranoid later on in the year, and then the year before, those first two Led Zeppelin albums and that first Uriah Heep album. I mean, all of a sudden, the mountain climbing. I mean, all of a sudden you got these heavy hitters just like climbing out of the woodwork, just bands wanting to be heard, trying to do something differently, taking the psychedelic sounds of the 60s and moving it into the new decade and just taking it to different levels of heaviness. So yeah, one of my favorite albums of all time, one of the most groundbreaking albums in the history of hard rock and metal, Deep Purple in Rock. That is my selection for today, day 14. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube. all the damn time. Coming up, more of these each and every day throughout the rest of the month. We're almost at the halfway point, so plenty of good stuff yet to come. And stay tuned tomorrow as we begin the new week with the Hudson Valley Squares in the Prague seat. What's Hot with C, Tranquility Day, new album reviews on Wednesday. We've got Thursday is the Monsters Den, Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff, and Sunday album homework assignments. So with that, I will leave you. I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon. Have a good rest of the weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.